Hello friends, today's topic of discussion is post-translational modifications. It is an important SAQ in university examination. After the synthesis of polypeptide, it undergoes certain changes that is known as post-translational modifications. So it includes mainly two types. The first one is the proteolysis and second one is the covalent modifications. You may get brief answer question of 2 mark on enumerate some post translational modifications. Okay, so it is BAQ as well as SAQ. So it is divided into two headings, that is proteolysis and covalent modifications. Proteolysis includes cleavage of peptide, cleavage of small peptide. It includes first removal of initiator methionine. Second one is the activation of proteins or activation of inactive zymogens or activation of proproteins. Activation of proproteins. Third one is the cleavage of signal peptide. Signal peptide. So this comes under proteolysis. Second one is the covalent modification. It includes first, that is addition of carbohydrate. Second, prosthetic group addition. Addition of prosthetic group. Third, phosphorylation and dephosphorylation, disulfide bond formation, then addition of hydroxyl group, gamma carboxylation, acetylation, and eighth one is isoprenylation. So these are the some examples of post-translational modifications. It is divided into two main types, that is proteolysis or limited proteolysis, and second one is the covalent modifications in the amino acids. Okay, our peptide chain. So addition of carbohydrates will be there, addition of prosthetic group in the form of biotin or heme, phosphorylation, dephosphorylation, disulfide bond formation, hydroxylation, gamma carboxylation, acetylation of histones, and isoprenylation. So these are the important post-translational modification. If you got the BAQ brief answer question, just enumerate these steps, okay, in the BAQ. Now we'll discuss one by one, that is removal of initiator amino acid. So peptide chain always starts with the N-terminal methionine, because the first codon is always AUG and AUG codes for the methionine. So it will always start, the peptide chain always start with the methionine. So this removal of methionine and activation of protein is important step in the post-translational modification. Some proteins, in some proteins this N-terminal methionine is removed and activation of protein occurs. This is known as removal of initiator methionine. Okay. The second one is the conversion of proproteins. See, these proproteins means inactive zymogens or inactive proteins. They are converted into active ones. Examples are, for example, pancreatic enzymes, okay, that is trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, okay, then proelastase, procarboxypeptidase, pepsinogen. So these inactive zymogens, they are converted into active ones by the removal of some peptide. So trypsinogen is converted into trypsin, chymotrypsinogen is converted into chymotrypsin, this is converted into trypsin, chymotrypsinogen is converted into chymotrypsin, proelastase is converted into elastase, procarboxypeptidase is converted into carboxypeptidase, pepsinogen is converted into pepsin. Okay, so formation of inactive zymogens or inactive proteins or proproteins, it is for the protection of organ against the autocatalysis by these enzymes or proteins, autocatalysis by these proteins. Okay, so for prevention of autocatalysis, these inactive, they are secreted as inactive zymogens and then later on they are converted into active proteins by the cleavage of small peptide. Okay, but by the removal of small peptide, these inactive ones are converted into active. Another example is clotting factor. Different clotting factors, they are activated by cleavage of small peptide. Okay, so suppose this is peptide and by removal of some peptide from this polypeptide chain, the activation of protein occurs. This is known as activation of proteins. Okay, then cleavage of signal peptide. There are certain signal sequences on the polypeptide chain. When it is synthesized, when polypeptide chain is synthesized, suppose this is polypeptide. When it is synthesized, there are certain signal sequences. Suppose this is signal. So this is signal. Suppose this is signal for some cellular organelles. So they must go to their particular place for their function. For mitochondrial proteins will go to the mitochondria, ribosomal proteins will go for the ribosomes and so on. So they must have some signal sequence for the transport into particular organelles. So they contain signal sequence and this signal sequence, it is recognized by the signal recognition particles. It is recognized by signal recognition particles, and when it reaches to their site of action, the signal sequence, it is removed by the signal peptidase. It is removed by the signal peptidase. So these are the three important examples in the proteolysis in the post-translational modifications. Now coming to the covalent modification, this includes the addition of carbohydrates. So we'll see that. Now first in the covalent modification is addition of carbohydrate. To increase the function of certain proteins, the carbohydrates are added to the peptide chain. So it is mainly done by the Golgi apparatus. There are three regions in the Golgi apparatus, that is cis, medial Golgi apparatus and trans Golgi apparatus. Okay, so cis, it is for the removal of mannose. These are the MCQs. This is for removal of mannose. This is for addition of fucose. These are the carbohydrates. This is for addition of fucose and an acetyl glutamine. This trans Golgi apparatus, it is for addition of galactose and sialic acid. Okay, so addition of carbohydrate, it is there is addition of carbohydrate to the asparagine or the serine and threonine residue. Okay, so addition of carbohydrate, it is mainly, or processing of proteins mainly, it is done in the Golgi apparatus. So these are the some modifications. So removal of mannose is done in the cis Golgi apparatus, fucose and N-acetylglutamine addition, it is in the medial Golgi apparatus, and galactose and sialic acid addition in the trans Golgi apparatus. Okay, so addition of carbohydrate will increases the antigenicity. it antigenicity, it increases the antigenicity, and it increases the function of that protein. Okay, it increases the solubility of that protein. Okay, so this is addition of carbohydrate. Second one is the addition of prosthetic group. Mainly two groups are given in the examples. First one is the addition of biotin, which is to the epsilon amino group of lysine, and addition of heme in the globin chain. Okay, it is an example of addition of prosthetic group. It enhances the function of that protein. Addition of heme increases the hemoglobin molecule. It is responsible for the transport of O2 and CO2 hemoglobin molecule. So addition of prosthetic group is important here. Then phosphorylation and dephosphorylation. Some enzymes are activated by the phosphorylation process. Enzymes, they becomes active by the phosphorylation or by the dephosphorylation, removal of the phosphate group. Example is glycogen synthase. Glycogen synthase, it is activated by the dephosphorylation process, and glycogen phosphorylase, it is activated by the phosphorylation. So it is in the covalent modification, dephosphorylation and phosphorylation, they will activate and inactivate certain enzymes by this process. So it is one of the post-translational modification. Okay, then formation of disulfide linkage in between the cysteine, in between two cysteine residues. Okay, this will help in the formation of branch protein. For example, insulin, there is disulfide linkages in the insulin in between the two cysteine molecule. Then addition of hydroxyl group, this is important in the collagen formation. Okay, formation of hydroxyproline and hydroxylysine, it is important for the collagen cross-linking. Collagen cross-links, it is important for collagen cross-linking, and for this hydroxylation process vitamin C is required. Okay, this is one of the post-translational modification. Then gamma carboxylation, it requires vitamin K. Gamma carboxylation of certain proteins, it requires vitamin K. There is conversion of glutamate into gamma carboxyglutamic acid. Okay, gamma carboxyglutamic acid. So it carries negative charge, it carries additional negative charge, and it helps in the binding with forming the complex with the calcium and phospholipid. So it helps in the clotting mechanism. So this is important, gamma carboxylation. It is important in the activation of factor 2, factor 7, factor 9 and factor 10. It helps in the activation of these clotting factors. Okay, gamma carboxylation. It is also important in the one bone protein, that is osteocalcin. It is important in the activation of osteocalcin, then protein S and protein C. It is important, gamma carboxylation. Then acetylation of histone, it is one of the post-translational modification. Acetylation, addition of acetyl group to the histone is one of the post-translational modification. Then isoprenylation means addition of isoprenyl group, isoprenyl chain. These are the intermediates in the cholesterol synthesis. Isoprenyl group, farnesyl, addition of farnesyl. One protein is given, that is P21 RAS protein. It is involved, it is activated by the isoprenylation. Okay, and the inhibitor for the isoprenylation can be important target for the cancer chemotherapy. P21 RAS, it is the example of isoprenylation. So these are the some examples of post-translational modification. You may get SAQ, short answer question on this topic. So be prepared with this topic. Keep watching. Thank you.